In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a TikTok style velocity edit in After Effects. So first thing you're going to want to do is click new composition, and this is the size I have. This is like usually the normal TikTok size. This is the height and width, so you can just copy this. So right click your little project window, click import file, then put in your audio. I like to rename mine to say audio so I don't get like things confused. And I'm gonna cut this to where I want the audio to actually start, because this is like a 40-second thing. Okay, so I want to split it here. So I'm gonna click on the clip, click Control Shift to D, and that splits it. And I'm gonna delete this. Drag this to the beginning, and then you want to split on beat. If you're taking the audio from an edit, usually if it's pretty on beat, you can just copy where they split it. But since this is not from an edit, I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna click keyframe assistant and convert audio to keyframes. Click this, click U, and then click both channels slider. Then click this little graph editor, and all these spikes are your beats. So this can help you mark the little things on beat. This is the first beat, so I'm gonna click this little marker. So like that, you can see where you want to split your clips. Then once you have all your beats marked, you can exit out of this and you can just delete this. And pro tip, to save your project whenever, so if your After Effects crashes, you don't lose that much progress, just click Control S and then name this whatever you want. And you can just do that whenever you do something like major, so you don't lose what you just did. And if it's an audio that you would like loop the edit for, you don't have to mark all the clips. You only have to mark like the first half of them. Okay, so now we have the audio. I usually turn off the vision thing because you don't really need to see it. And then I'm gonna import my clips. Okay, so once you have all that imported, I'm gonna show you 2 ways to import clips. So the first one I'm gonna show you is if you're using like a scene pack or like one longer clip, this is how I would do it. So just split on each beat, and then go to the beginning of your first clip, double click this, and then scroll to what clip you want to use. So let's say I want to use this clip. I'm going to drag this little clip here, because this is technically the footage down here, and drag the beginning to where your cursor is. And then go back to your composition, and that's your clip. And then you can just split this at the end and delete that. And then you just do this for all your clips. And another way that you can import your clips is if you have them all separated, like I do here, then what I would do. Okay, so while I was editing, I realized that there was a way easier way to do what I was trying to show. So let's say I have more than 2 clips here. You can just preview them here. And then once you get, like you see like a clip you want, just cut to this. And then whenever you drag this here, it'll automatically be at the point that you cut to. And then you can just actually put this out wherever your little marker is for your timestamp. And then all you have to do is cut the end off, like wherever your clip is, and that's it. It's pretty easy. Okay, so I have all my clips selected, and next thing I want to do is mute all of these, so if not, it's gonna sound like this. Okay, so select the first one, then hold Shift, and then click the bottom clip, and then you can just mute all of these. Or you can just drag your mouse like this. And I'm going to delete all the clips that I didn't use. And now what I'm going to do is resize all of these. So I'm going to click S on my keyboard on this clip, and I can move the size, and I can drag with my mouse where I want the clip to be. And I'm going to do that to all of them real quick. All right. And now I just did it to all the clips. What I'm going to do is, as you can see here, there's like a little bit of intro before the actual edit starts. So to fix that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this all the way to the beginning. Then I'm going to put my cursor here and just split that, so that the intro is like right before the clip goes into the edit. All right, so now that everything is all scaled to the right size, I'm going to click on my clip. I'm going to hold Control Shift C, and then make sure you have this circle selected. Click OK. And now you just pre-compose your clips. So now you're ready to add your effects. First, I'm gonna do this to all of my clips though. Okay, so I'm gonna mute all these real quick. Okay, so now it's time to add the effects. The first thing you wanna add is Twixtor. I use Twixtor Pro, drag that on, and then add a keyframe for 100. Click U on your keyboard to open the keyframes. And then go forward about 3 keyframes, and then set this to 180. Then go forward about 4, and set this to 40. And now you have added your velocity. Next thing you're gonna add is your BCC, Lens Blur, OBS. Add this here. Open your keyframes again, set the gamma to 1000, add a keyframe for iris scale, and then put this to around 20. And then go to like around the end of the clip and set this to 0. Click the graph editor while you have one of the keyframes selected. Click this, click F9 on your keyboard, and then I'm gonna add a slight graph to this. This is the graph I decided on, so you can copy this if you want. And then search exposure, add this to your thing. Add a keyframe here and then set this around 150 to maybe 170. And if it doesn't pop up in the keyframes immediately, click U to close it and then U again to open it, and it should be there. So I'm gonna drag my cursor to where the blur ends and set this to 0. And you can add a graph for this. I don't think I'm going to, but I might change my mind and do one later. And then go to the end here, click T, set the opacity to 25%, add a keyframe, go forward about 8 keyframes, and then set this to 100. And then open the keyframes again and grab these and drag them to like 1 keyframe before the opacity. And if you want to be kind of fancy, you can add a little zoom. So click S on your keyboard to open the scale, add a keyframe in the beginning, add 100, go to the end, and put one at 110. Click the graph editor, click this, easy ease, and then I'm going to mess around with this for a second. Okay, so this is the graph I decided on. Copy that if you want, and then that's pretty much it. Now you can click U again, then select all of these, Control C, go to your next clip and Control V. Click U, and then it should show your keyframes. Go to the end. It actually lines up just fine, so I'm gonna leave it like that. But for some reason, the gamma didn't translate, so I'm just gonna put this back up to 1000. And then just repeat that for the rest of your clips. Whenever it doesn't line up, just grab all the effects at the end and just drag them to the end, like this. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you can close all your keyframes. So then we're gonna work on the intro, click the clip, and then search posterize time. Drag that onto your clip, and this is just gonna change the frame rate. I always do around 6. And if you want, you can do a little saturation to make it like a little like lower, just like a little less saturated or completely black and white. I'm gonna do this like a little less saturated. Then you're gonna go press T on this and make it start at 0, and then go in the middle and put this to like 100. And if you want to be a little fancy for like when this happens, what you can do is go here, pre-compose your clip again, duplicate it, and then click the opacity, set a keyframe for 100 at the beginning and go at the end 0, or then set the scale to be like at 100 in the beginning, then at the end make it like 140, or like actually maybe even bigger. So I put it to like over 200, and then click the graph editor, and then this is the graph I did, so you can copy this if you want. But that's just like a little ghost effect. And if you want here, you can also add a shake, but I'm not gonna because I'm lazy. All right, make sure you have this muted, and then pre-compose all of your clips together. Now click Control D to duplicate these and drag this to the end over here, and that creates a loop. Now for the loop, sometimes people invert it, or they'll make it less saturated, or add like a special effect to it, but I will show you guys how to invert it. Okay, so add transform to your clip, unselect uniform scale, and then put scale width to -100, and that's how you invert. Make sure you have those muted, and then you can merge everything together. And I'm gonna cut the composition time to the right time. So go to the end of your clip and click this, copy that, click composition, composition settings, duration, and then paste it in there. Mute this again. Then you're gonna add a little bit of panning, so put S shake. Grab it onto your clip and you can copy my settings. This is just how I have my panning. I'm actually gonna put this up a little bit. I'm gonna put this to like, I put that up to like 300. Okay, and then we're gonna add a coloring. So search looks, drag that on here, click edit. And these are just like the presets I have. This is the one I usually use. And you can obviously just mess with all these tools and see exactly how you want it to look, because obviously it's personal preference. Okay, so then it's time to add the watermark. Click the T button up here, go to the middle of your screen, and type your username. Select all of that and select whatever font you want. I'm gonna use this one, but it's just preference. Click align and then click these two to make it centered. Then duplicate your edit, click rotate, so click R on your keyboard, and then rotate this to 180. And then make the scale fit the text. And then right click the text, blending mode, and then stencil luma. And then select these and pre-compose these. Mute that. And now you have your watermark here. Now drag that to like the bottom. Make the size 40, center that, and just make that as low as you want. I'm gonna go to effects, click brightness. I usually put the brightness to like 60. And then I'm gonna go deep glow. So make the radius a little smaller and put the exposure down a little bit. And then click unmult. Right click this and click layer styles, drop shadow. Okay, so now you're going to add your S flicker, and I usually set this to around 30. Actually, I'm gonna put that to like 40, not gonna lie. It's like... Alright, and that's it. I'm going to just pre-comp this again. Now, in order to render, just let it play and preview like the whole way. Alright, and then go to composition, click add to render queue. And then you can leave this on the H.264. I have an edit folder that I always put the stuff to. So I'm gonna just name this and click this if you want it to notify you when it's done. I made myself a preset. I'm pretty sure it's just the H thing, but I always have this so I like know and click on everything. Anyways, and then click render. And since this is like fairly simple, it'll probably take like 5 minutes. That's usually how long it takes me. So, yep. And that's basically it. That's how you make a Velocity TikTok style edit on After Effects. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks. See ya.